What is a brand? Like, what is this thing we call a brand? If you made it to this page, like you are in the market for a domain name, you have a domain that you're looking for, or you're curious about the impact that a domain has on a brand. But the first thing, like, you have to understand is, like, what is this concept of a brand? You see, all a brand is, it's a like a letter, it's a design, it's a word, maybe it's two words, maybe it's a made up word like Google, right? And it's something that distinguishes your company from the market, from the world. Okay, it says, hey, this is our mission, this is who we are, this is identity, this is our leadership. But see, the thing is, like, in and of itself, like, this brand is meaningless, like, it's worthless, okay? It's not until you breathe life into this brand, until you breathe, like, your mission and your purpose, and you start amplifying the message for this brand that it creates this thing we call brand equity. Now, brand equity is what takes a company like Ring.com from a startup to selling for $1 billion in several years. It's what takes a company like a Jet.com selling for $3 billion to Walmart. It's this idea, it's this feeling that a brand transmits and gives to your mission, to your purpose. Like, it creates this leadership, it creates this awareness, and it creates this loyalty for your brand. Now, this loyalty, what these do is that it actually helps you to get a better price for your product. It helps you to have more profitability for your product, right? It sets you apart. It provides leadership, like this leadership positioning. Now, here's the thing, like, if you don't understand this concept of branding and brand equity, then you won't understand the pricing for domain names in the domain world. Because you see, the internet changed the game forever. Like, how we view and create brands today is just no longer the same. So 15 years ago, brands were created, and it was like brick and mortar. Like, brick and mortar ruled the day. There was this silo mentality, this silo effect, right? You're going to look for a boat, and you went through the boat magazines to find that boat. But today, like, your brand will never be separate from the internet. Your brand is your domain, is your brand equity. Now, brand equity, this feeling, is what takes once again this like the mission of your purpose and provides this value to it. It's what takes and makes an Apple.com worth $170 billion. The brand value alone, right? Not the product. Just what that goodwill is worth. Now, it's important to understand, like, brand equity. It's important to understand this concept, because if you're a creator, if you are a startup, if you are a company that's looking to like get big and to sell, like, you need to maximize your brand equity. And here's the thing, like, when you don't own your brand equity is impacted in a massive way. Because it creates confusion for your brand. It tells your investors that, hey, we're not good enough to own our positioning online. See, it's not good enough to have a great brand. You need to own it online today. So what does this tell? Like, what does this say to your investors when you don't own your domain name? It says, hey, listen, like, we passed on it. Maybe we don't believe in our product. Maybe we don't believe in our company. Maybe we don't believe in our mission. Right? What does it tell your employees when they look and they say, hey, we're Ping.com or we're Example.com, but every time they turn around, they see another brand that is dominating the messaging for your brand? Right? What does it tell your customers? Well, there's this confusion, and they see your marketing, and they try to remember who you are, but they end up going to a different company. More importantly, like, what does it say about you as a founder? You put all your blood and your sweat, your time away from your family, maybe your life savings into this company, but you don't own the very thing that will create this exponential impact for your company, this exponential impact for brand equity, your domain name. See, I've contacted and have over 68,000 contact points selling domain names. And what that means is I've talked to some of the best and the brightest founders in the marketplace. And I've also talked to some of the average startups. And what I found is that there's 7 things that distinguish, and 7 reasons why these elite pioneers who've created something, why they would spend like 6 to 7 figures on a domain name. So there's 7 different reasons. The first reason is this global positioning, this thought that, like, only one company can own the global positioning for your brand. We call this, like, your exact match domain, right? It's something that creates simplicity and clarity. So take an example of Kraken. So there's Kraken Rum and there's Kraken Crypto Exchange. And Kraken Crypto Exchange owns Kraken.com. But you see, Kraken Rum actually launched before that. They put over $13 million into the advertising the first year alone. But what happened is that if you look forward today and you fast forward, all the millions and millions of dollars poured, all the brand equity, all of the goodwill poured into their brand. When you go online, you search for Kraken today, what do you see? You see Kraken Crypto Exchange. See, that's global positioning. That's building your brand on a position of power. Now, the next thing is industry position. Like, how are you positioned your competitors? Are you positioned with a position of strength? When they line up all the brands together, maybe the top 10 brands, does your brand look legitimate? Does it continue to look like a startup? Right? Does it look like a brand in a leadership positioning? They call that industry positioning. And it's important, like elite brands, they not only own their global positioning, but they own their industry positioning. The third dimension is this idea of branding. Like, what do you call your brand? What do you call your brand? So take Dave.com, right? They went with Dave.com versus try Dave.com because Dave.com showed that, hey, it created simplicity for their brand. It created clarity for their brand. Call it branding, this branding effect to your brand and your domain name, creating this effortless journey for your customers. From there, you go to marketing. This is the return on investment that you get from your domain name. Like, if you are advertising your domain name, are you driving traffic to another company? I mean, believe it or not, I've seen companies that have overnight received like a 25,000 new unique visitors overnight, trying to figure out like what happened. What happened is that one of their competitors with a similar domain name, a confusing domain name, actually was driving traffic to their competitors. Probably even unaware that they were driving this traffic. Every dollar, every portion of your investment, when you don't own your domain name, has a halo effect to another company who owns that clarity, that simplistic positioning. If you're out there with like mybrand.com or myexample.com or tryexample.com or tryapp.com, what happens is that there's this halo effect to the company that owns the pure keyword for your brand. From there, you have SEO, you have email security, and then you have the ability to pivot. Like, do you have the ability to create and like move beyond your current offering? Now, if you look, one example here, it's Zen Payroll. They moved from Zen Payroll to Gusto because they realized at some point that, listen, like we wanted to do more than payroll, but our brand and our positioning, our domain name, were actually like putting us boxed in this corner. And so they rebranded to Gusto.com and allowed them to expand their product offering. So these 7 dimensions have a massive impact on your brand, on your positioning, on your leadership. Now listen, it may be a rare opportunity to acquire a domain name. And if you're on this page and you got to this page because you like saw one of our domain names and that's the way you got it, hey, great, that's great, because that means that your domain name is still available, right? But it's a rare opportunity because there's 3 things that are impacting the market. The first one is that there's this social change that's taking place. You see, most new companies are strictly online. What that means is that they understand, like, they want to own their global position. They want to own their domain name, their exact match domain name, in the power position, in the that creates simplicity and clarity, like a Dave.com, a Teamwork.com, a Ring.com. And so it's driving demand for premium quality domain names. And at the same point, you have this economic value that's coming in. Investors are willing to pay. Like, these elite founders and creators are willing to pay because they've done it before and they understand the impact owning their like keyword domain name. You look at a Teamwork.com, for instance, when they rebranded from teamworkpm.net to teamwork.com, they saw this like immediate hockey stick like result in their sales. Or you look at Hive.com, they rebranded from HiveTeams.com and immediately saw a 45% increase in their traffic, like overnight, by doing nothing else. And so this, like, you have like demand going up, you have money chasing that, but at the same point you have like this technological side, and that is that quality domain names are actually becoming more rare. You see, most companies have them locked up in a vault and they're just not going to release them, right? It's easier for them to pay $10 a month, a year, to renew that domain name than it is for them to like sell it and possibly have that domain name come back and hurt them, right? It's a bigger risk. And so what do? They lock them up in vaults. They'll never sell. This combination of supply and demand, this perfect chart of supply and demand is actually making it more competitive for premium quality domain names. So if you have the opportunity, it's very rare you need to take this because there is a global market and a global demand for domain names. Like if you pass today, there's nothing to say that tomorrow that'll be picked up. Picked up by someone in China, maybe someone in Ireland, maybe someone in Australia, maybe someone in the United States somewhere. I mean, like there's global demand for quality domain names. At this point, you probably see, hey, like you want your domain name, but the next thing to this is like you know how to acquire it, right? If you do this the wrong way, you're going to pay 2 times, 3 times, 4 times more for your domain name than it's worth. Or worse, you'll be told, no, like this domain name will never be for sale. There's 5 steps that we go through to acquire a domain name. And these 5 steps are very important. If you get one of these wrong, like the chances are like you're not going to acquire a domain name. So I'm going to invite you like right now to like set a meeting down below. I've got a link to my Calendly, and you can click on that, set a meeting up, and I'll walk you through these 5 steps. I'll walk you through specifically for the acquisition that you want or the domain name that you're looking to acquire. But here's the thing, like my time and my like calendar is limited. I take on about 15 of these acquisitions every month. And so like if you're looking for this, like you need to like get on my calendar right now and like set a meeting up.